So, today I'm making Snufkin's hat, but I managed to get like over 15 people asking me, "Oh, how did you make the hat for Joxter?" Which I did the hat for. Give me a second. There we go. I'm gonna post some pictures so that you can see what it looks like on. But like, it's pretty trashy when you look too close, but again, like, I think Joxter and Snufkin are like trash masters, but they're good boys, so that's that. No. Alright, so I like to kind of plan my cosplays, but I keep it mostly open and don't draw in too many details, because as with most things in life, they don't go as planned, and this hat that I made for Joxter certainly did not do what I wanted it to do, but it turned out okay in the end because I just kept going. But the things you have to figure out for yourself is how big is your head all around. Mine is 58 or something, so I added 2 centimeters because I know I'm gonna wear a wig under this. So that's the first step, measure your head. It's actually, honestly, when you do a pattern from scratch, it's going to be very personal. And I'm gonna give you the measurements I used, but it just might not work for you because you're a different person. Okay. So to make this thing, you need the round bottom part, and you're gonna need the cone part, and I make the cone by using 2 parts together, and the bottom of the cone is half of this, so when you put them together you get the same amount, and that is 60 centimeters is what I use. So yeah, on to fabrics that I have. Now, if I find the picture. So Snufkin as a character is this is him, good boy, in the anime, the 1990s anime, or yeah, thing. This is the book version of him, or one of the versions. I mean, the style changes a little bit every time, but most people go by this, and you have a lot of green colors, and it looks really nice together. And I guess it's a pet peeve of mine, but I don't care about it if other people do it. It's just a personal thing that I have a preference, basically, and that is to not make that is to not make things super bright. Obviously, if it's like Splatoon, most things will be neon and stuff, so it makes sense to have those bright, but these colors don't go very well in the real world, and if you want to like kind of like be part of the environment and, you know, fields and wooded areas, this is, it's gonna look a lot off, and if you're going for that, that's totally fine, please do it. It's just, I have preferences. Short story, no, it's not, it's kind of a long story. Long story short, I buy fabric that are a little bit less screamy. So I have this, is it felt? I'm gonna write what it is. This is gonna be the base of the hat. It's gonna be, let me see here. It feels so cool every time I throw the book in front of here. It's gonna be the base of this, and the cone part. Yeah, it's the hat. So we're gonna need 2 pieces for this one because I'm gonna put a wire in it. 2 of those. Yeah, it's gonna be good. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing, minus 1 of the round ones, with this fabric. Now, here's the good part. Wait, let me see here. So Snufkin has, can I have the picture in? There you go. He has a feather in his hat. Yeah, in his hat. yellow feather. I don't have one yet. I'm gonna get it. But and I've seen multiple tries at attaching it, and most people glue or sew it on, and that works really well. But they have a tendency of falling off, and this is not idiot proof. But when I attached this bag fabric, I don't know, to this hat, it gave it a lot of character, but also like I could stick flowers into it and make it look like, oh yeah, they're supposed to be here. So that's what I'm doing. Also, I think this color is too green. It's too screamy green. So I'm gonna add this fabric over it. And like right now you can't see it, but it does have the green tone back. And it's like mixing colors. And I think it will make it look even scruffier, like that hat. So that's gonna be cool. Something else I use, obviously thread, and maybe glue in some places if it's needed. But I also have this, is it steel? What is it? It doesn't really, this is it. Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but it's sturdy. It's super sturdy, and yeah, it stays in place when you want it to stay. And I only need one, like I don't have to double it to make it stay. It's good. And it's very shapeable. It's very nice to work with. Like, there we go, I have a dent in the hat now. Really useful. Cool. Those are the materials I'm using. Oh. I hope I'm not too far away from the microphone. It's over there. But if you can hear me, that's good. Anyway, so I haven't cut anything out. I got a little side cut because I remembered that even though it was round, my hat, when I cut it out the first time, it didn't really feel right when you put it on your head. It didn't get the same structure as you would. So I remember I made this an oval shape. So I basically did that, but I cut it out a bit. I just cut the edges a little bit. So it's more of an oval than, a circle. And the idea is, I think my face is gonna, my face is that way. Yeah, so instead of just circle, think oval if you want that specific shape. That's what I did. Yeah. Okay, so I cut the fabric out. This is actually like that big. Yes, and then I fold it in half, and it's still the two pieces. Very important. And let's see here. Oh, it's so hard to hold the camera at the same time, but I took a look at my joxter hat. I've done some changes along the way when I sewed it together, and it really does just look like a mess. But the head hole was smaller than the measurements I took of my head, which means that I'm not gonna make it too big. It's actually a good thing to follow whenever. Don't make it too big, because you can't go back from that, but you can go back from making it small. So what I did is that, okay, this is a bit of a, I'll put the measurements up from here to here, if that helps. But I did here to here, and then I put it down, and then I made a tiny little thing, and it's folded twice. So now I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna put it on my head, and if it fits, then I'm gonna make it a tiny bit bigger, because I'm gonna wear a wig. If it doesn't fit, I'm gonna make it bigger until it fits. Yeah, that's the plan. As you can see, this fits me extremely well, and it complements my complexion a lot. And it's blurry. Sorry. I'm getting used to this camera still. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So it's a little tight on me. I'm gonna make it a tiny bit bigger. And then I'm done on this part. In the end, this ended up looking like a lemon or a lime. Probably, mostly a lemon, and it's 12 centimeters by, let's see here, it's a little uneven, but that's okay, by 20. So that's my head, remember? You just, yeah, when you're doing this, do it by your head, please, because my head is probably, yeah, you know, you get it. I just talked about it before. So, this part is done. I'm gonna go and cut out the next part. So, this is very interesting turn of events. Remember when I said I measured the cone part to my head? So like 2 pieces together of paper fit perfectly around my head. But when I did this part, that fit perfectly around my head too. And this looks extremely a lot bigger than this. And I'm not a scientist, but I'm gonna go ahead and do some science on this. Because if you're a fan of Welcome to Night Vale, you know that science is extremely erotic. Also, we've all been scientists so long. Okay, I'm sorry, I just listened to Night Vale right now. It's great, but what I'm trying to say is that I'm gonna make the cone a tiny bit smaller, like not all the way smaller, so it fits exactly to this, because I know there's treachery and trickery in this. But I will probably cut it here. Or about here. Yeah. And we'll see. I'll be back. There we go. Now I did some, let me just see it. Look, there, it's different. Yep, you can definitely see that. I swear I'm a good cosplayer. Okay, so I did that. I've lined out exactly how that one looks, but these stripes? No, these lines show that, oh hi, you have to cut it like 1 centimeter outside, because when you turn it inside out, it will be smaller. So that's what I'm doing. Also, like at the bottom here, instead of going like a straight line, I made a tiny bit of a curve. So when I sew it to this part, it won't be a problem. There we go. Oh. Okay, so now we have this piece and we have this piece, and I'm praying that, you know, they work together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out one part of this into that fabric, and then two parts of that. It's basically a cover above, like over this. So I'm doing that now. Let's see how long this camera lasts. Oh my god, there's no battery in it whatsoever. Okay, let's continue. So now I have the pieces I need. I didn't take them off yet because I just wanted to record this part. Also, I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna go up and try to find some food upstairs. You know. See. So this is like gonna be the outer shell. And I'm also sewing this one, which is the more interesting one. So I'm only doing the sides all the way around. I'm keeping the middle open because I need that to fit the wire through, so I can have it go all the way around like that. And yeah, I'm gonna sew everything together and I'll be back. Right, okay, so I've sewn it all together and I've also turned it inside out. Now what I'm doing here is I have this wire. I'm gonna measure it around so it fits kind of perfectly, and then I'm gonna put it inside of this. All right. I'm currently filming on my phone because my camera died, and it's now resting over there. So I've got this measured out. Doesn't look like it fits right now, but it will, I swear. And also, I taped it together, and I used quite a lot of tape because these are pointy, and you don't want to put a pointy thing in here because, you know, it'll snatch the fabric and scratch it, and it will just be a lot of problems, and we don't want to make it a problem. So now I'm gonna put this inside of here. You're gonna want to find a thread that you like, and this is basically for function, but it's also just decorative, and I think I like this one, and I think it will do great. Okay, so here's where it gets a little bit tricky. Because this thread is super thin, I need to use like multiple threads to make it fat and, you know, visible. So I'm combining 3 thin threads, and then I'm putting it through a needle, and then I'm just sewing like normal, the most basic hand sewing you can master like it. Right, and then when you get it through, you're gonna want to combine the 2 sides and then put, oh god, it's so hard to put a knot on it, which gives you 6 threads in one go, and then that's a pretty thick thread, right? So it works really well, and that's how you're gonna go about it, which is also why you need a lot of thread, because like that was a lot of thread, and it's only this one, and it's probably gonna just last that much, but hey, it's a start. It's very late. I look like a gremlin, but that's always a thing, so I can't really escape that fate. But after some shaping and redoing, especially just the seams because it looked a little weird, it finally is starting to shape up. Right now there's actually some fabric inside of it because turns out this one is way floppier than the red one for some reason. I mean, the red one was supposed to be floppy, but this one is even more No idea why. So, but the idea here is that Snufkin's hat is actually a bit straighter than the other, than the joxter's hat. So that's the update. That's the hat. I thought I was done, but I'm not really done. A feather is missing. Yeah, I don't have one. I'm not gonna make one. I'm not gonna make one right now because I'm tired, but you know what a feather is. You can either buy one or you can look up a tutorial to make one. There you go. Advice from me. I'm gonna make one, but not today. And I want this tutorial out tomorrow, so I'm not gonna make one. And that's that. And this is basically me right now. I'm very tired. Oh, you have something in your eyes, sweetheart? I'm so sorry. Yeah, okay. Good night.